Hello and welcome to the Cough Reading Podcast. Welcome to the Bad Reading Podcast. My name is Atlas Novak.
And I am Nick Kane.
And here today we have with us a very special guest. He hosts the open mic at the Mexican Village in Koreatown, and he's super hilarious. Give it up for Peter Skobel, everybody.
How's it going, guys? Good to see you, man.
What was that?
That's my Tim Allen, man.
Oh, right. I forgot he makes noises.
Oh, that's all he does,
Yeah.
exclusively.
Yeah, well, Pete is funny and makes funny noises, so here are some of his funny noises.
So, I've been with my girlfriend for 7 years, and she left me, oh shit! So lately I've just been taking my emotions out on just anybody. I was headed to my apartment and someone had took my parking spot. And it's man, I can find street parking. But I'm nah, fuck that shit. I'm gonna catch this guy. So I waited double park for a half hour. Just waiting for this dude. Finally the dude comes out. Then I'm hey homie! What the fuck? That's my parking spot, dog! You think you just park a piece of shit car where the fuck you want? Why are you giving up on us? It's been 7 years, you can't just walk away! Don't leave me! I don't know how to be alone!
And we're back.
And we're back. Yeah, that was a super great segue that I did, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was good.
Yeah, we're gonna try that new thing where we're gonna put a clip of the person stand up at the beginning. If you guys like it or don't like it, please tweet at us and
tell us to stop right now.
I don't know. I've done podcasts before where they're like, "Oh my God, you're doing something different." No.
Well, dude, I mean, what are we on episode 20 right now? It's not like we're already well established. We can try and experiment new shit. And see if
Close
it's
to
good.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, today on the Bad Reading Podcast, we have Pete Skobel on here to talk about what is it you're into again?
I wouldn't say that I'm into it. Okay, so I saw your podcast. I've seen some of your episodes, listened to it, and it seems to me like a lot of the comedians, they pick the show that they they identify with. I went a little different this way in that I fucking hate Home Improvement. I
Okay.
fucking hate Home Improvement. I hate Tim Allen, and here's why. Tim Allen, before he was famous, was a coke dealer. He was a coke dealer, which is fine. Shout out, coke dealers, I guess. I don't know. So he got caught at the Kalamazoo airport with 1.65 pounds of cocaine, right?
Pounds of cocaine.
Pounds of that Colombian Bam Bam. Yeah. That white girl.
Tim Allen?
China White.
I mean, I always knew he was kind of a piece of shit, but I didn't know, A, he was a coke dealer, and B, he got caught at the most dumb airport in the
first off,
city.
Again, him being a piece of shit has nothing to do with him being a coke dealer. It has to do with what happened to him when he got caught.
Okay.
So when he got caught, he was facing a life sentence. And so what did he do? My man snitched out everyone. Pointed fingers, left, right. He did it. Got off 2 years in prison. And then went on to become a fucking American comedian, right? And nowadays, he's got the nerve to just be yo, American values, whatever happened to these fucking cucks? It's man, you a snitch. You a rat. You ain't a real man.
So
you know what I mean?
Not only
you're not a real, you couldn't even do the time, baby. You're a rat.
No, you like Henry Hill, man. You don't do that shit.
Nah, dude. Snitches get stitches. And which
Damn
brings
it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby. Which brings me to I'm gonna do something different here. This goes out to Tim Allen, the fucking rat Tim Allen. You want to be a man? You want to talk about real men? Yo, if you're ever in LA, hit me up. We can square up one-on-one, alleyway, like men. Catch these hands, Tim Allen, any day.
Wow. Okay, so this is a first for the Bad Reading Podcast in multiple ways. One, our guest picked their IP off of something they hate rather than something they love.
That's what I do.
Because the goal of this podcast is to get people all worked up over the fact that we're ruining their favorite show, movie, whatever. You already hate this.
I fucking hate Tim Allen.
So whatever we read, you're going to, maybe we get you all, worked up, but it's in favor of the terrible fan fiction.
Right.
we're in new territory here. Also, I've never had a podcast that I've run or been on actively call somebody out when we're way less popular than him.
What are you gonna do, Tim?
I like the idea.
You a bitch, Tim.
That he's out there.
You're
he's
a bitch.
like, oh, I'll fucking catch these, and he
anytime
makes the effort to or whatever.
Anytime, baby, it's tool time. Only these tools
Yeah, and you
on
killed
my left
Santa.
and a right.
It's time.
Yeah,
tool.
and you killed Santa.
Yeah. Also, fuck Santa Claus. That movie fucking sucked.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Christmas with the Cranks.
Anything.
That was
Tim
another
Allen,
one.
Tim Allen, catch his hands.
And he's like a shitty Republican tool.
Which makes it even worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
We're not a political podcast. What
Oh,
we
I'm-
are,
well, I'm
You
very
just did now.
I'm from the Bay Area. I'm very political.
what we are.
I'm
is
what they call aggressively progressive. You know what I mean?
vote Bernie. All right. So
Shout out.
All right, so the story we have today is called Their Guardian Angel. We found this on fanfiction.net. As usual, we will put the link to this thing in the show notes for you to go read yourself if you would like, and to give the artist credit. So on fanfiction.net, Their Guardian Angel by Wolf Patronus.
Wolf Patronus.
That's
I like
Wolf
that name.
with a U, by the way. That's
That's just a Harry Potter fan for show.
yeah.
Wolf Patronus.
All right. And then the little preface at the beginning. When Jill and Tim are presumed dead.
Oh wait! When was
Yes.
this? When was this made?
Oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
This was made published January 4th, 2018. So this is pretty recent.
Okay.
Yo, someone's writing home improvement fan fiction like 20 years after the fact. I love it. Let's get into it.
We're
I'm
making
sorry.
fun of Home Improvement 20 years after the fact. What's the problem? Yeah.
It's like,
Sorry, go on.
That voice haunts their memories. Like, I have to write more about this. Like, there's so much more that was untapped.
All right. When Jill and Tim are presumed dead, Tracy, Jill's sister, takes custody before anyone else can and abuses them for being just like Jim and Till for Tim and Jill. Spoonerism. Good job. For months before the straw on the camel breaks. When the kids realize their parents could be alive, will they find them, or will Tracy stop them from coming? Rated T to be safe.
Ooh.
Oh my
edgy.
gosh. You better deliver.
I will say that Jill, all right, the only thing that Home Improvement got that I'll give them props to was that they didn't make Tim's wife like a super hot girl. It was just like, oh, it's like a mom. But the problem is that she just reminded me of every mom I met in the 80s, like in the 90s, growing up as like a child that would like yell at me.
Oh.
They'd be like, Pete, like, stop doing that. I'm like, you're not my mom. Fuck off, Janet.
Yeah, that was always weird when you had like your friend's mom who would discipline you and you would just kind of have to take it. I mean, like,
Yeah.
all the old comedians are like, man, when I was a kid, it was it takes a village. Like, anybody could yell at you, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I think as our generation was growing up, that's where that started to die,
Yeah.
you know? So that's interesting. Oh, there's another aside, by the way.
Who?
I'm sorry if a lot of things seem inaccurate / stupid.
You just told the story.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Oh, it's not canon?
You just told the intro. Okay.
Well, no, this isn't the actual story yet. It's still an aside. But I love this idea, and I couldn't help myself when writing this. I have my usual OC character, Hannah, in there.
Ooh, original character?
Yeah, OC stands for original character. And I'm having her be 2 years old. She'll still be in diapers, but the boys will know how to change her. This takes place in the winter of 1992 and ends at the beginning or so of March of 1992.
Okay.
I'm into it.
Okay,
Let's-
Wolf Patronus, you need to tell that in the story. Like, you're not supposed to say, it's like, I use a very frequent character. What if we're reading this for the first time? Like, we have no context.
Show don't tell.
I mean, show don't tell.
Brad's 10/11, Randy's 9/10, Mark's 6/7, and Hannah's 2/3.
They just threw into like a sister for no reason.
Yeah.
Please enjoy and leave nice comments. If you don't like it, then don't read it. Well,
Hell
What?
yeah. That's very punk rock.
I'm about to disobey a fan fiction writer. So
Ooh.
uh,
Now we got Tim Allen and fan fiction writers on our ass.
Yeah.
I don't even know why
get
they
strapped.
like the. I thought the point of Home Improvement was to not pass the Bechdel test. So I don't know whether. Okay, whatever.
All right, let's do it. I'm on all.
You went over
I'm,
my head
I'm
with
so
Bechdel
into
test.
this. Let's do it.
Bechdel test is 2 or more female characters speak to each other, and it can't be about a man. That's if you pass it, you do that. All right.
Okay.
shut up.
Hooray. Okay, so 10-year-old, almost 11, Brad had his siblings hugged close to him tightly, acting as a protector. 9-year-old Randy was deeply snuggled into his left side. 6-year-old Mark was snuggled into his right side, crying. The youngest, 2-year-old Hannah, had her face buried deep into Brad's chest, seeking the comfort that their father used to give them.
All right, sorry.
No, this is good.
No, please do.
No, interrupt if you want. Like, if something sticks out.
I hear ya.
Fair warning, by the way. There's a lot of baby talk, so the voice of Hannah is going to be me doing Homestar Runner.
Gotcha. Let's
So-
do it.
Ooh, okay.
Bubby, me hot. Hannah started crying into her brother's shoulder. Want mommy, want daddy. Swan bad. Brad rubbed her back and kissed her head. Shh, Hanny, it's okay. If you keep wailing, Aunt Tracy will hear us. We need to use quiet voices, okay, honey? Since Brad had become the unofficial adult of them, Aunt Tracy had no interest. He started calling her honey and sweetie. It was stuff their parents called her. He called his brothers buddy like their father used to. After their daily, yes, that was daily, he'd comfort them and heal their wounds. He'd also comfort them after a nightmare or when they needed it. They depended on him for it, so he kept doing it until someone would rescue them. He got nightmares too, but he learned to keep his mouth shut about it. But occasionally he'd yell. Brad was still a playmate, but he was also the only source of comfort left.
You know what? It's really sad when, like, a boy has to learn to become a man so early. It's truly tragic.
Yeah.
Where's
man.
Al? Where's Al in all of it? Like, Al should take the...
That's what I'm thinking, right?
All right, let's find out.
You would think the next door, isn't that like fucking
Al-
horsing around, you know?
Al or Wilson?
Yeah.
Where is he?
3 little orphans, 1, 2, 3. With
Also, I just want to say there's no way that Wilson was not... Like, when Tim was talking to Wilson...
yeah.
And Wilson had his, like, face covered up by the fence. There's no way Wilson wasn't jerking off, right?
Oh yeah.
The whole time. Just like, Tim in the...
And Tim was like,
in the Ming dynasty, like there's no way. Like he's a pervert.
And
Will
Tim
was
was
a
like,
Wilson
"Yeah,
was a pervert.
What's going on over here?
Yeah.
What's going on over here? You doing things about over here? All right.
I mean, there was holes in those fences for a reason.
Oh,
you
he
know
was
what I mean?
going on and having a wank behind the fence. Right. Okay.
it's a powerful dick, man.
If you hadn't died, Mom and Dad, we could go home and be fed and given love and comfort from an adult like you guys did. Brad thought in tears. One night a few months ago, in September, they had been told their parents had gotten into a fatal car accident. There was nobody in the car, according to the TV. Brad would sneak late at night to watch it for his parents to be marked alive. They presumed his parents dead, so that meant they were now orphans.
I just know that when Tim was crashing that car, he was definitely just like, more power.
I need stronger flannel shirts.
Our children will be orphans. Continue.
Okay. That meant they needed a new home because they were orphans.
Yes.
Those were 2 separate sentences.
Yes.
That sounded like the same sentence, but they weren't. Cool. Aunt Tracy jumped right on board to the task of taking care of them. For a week, she was loving. They got food and water and all the toys they could imagine.
Water? They got water.
It's one of the building blocks of life, you know?
It's like if a parent asks you, so how's your son doing? Like, I make him drink water.
Yeah,
He has
like,
water. He's fine.
Give him food, give him water. It's fine.
I gotta say, I've met a not small amount of adults here in LA that just don't drink water. They're just like, fish fucking it. I don't want to drink water. Just like coffee, beer, and kombucha, soda, which admittedly I do have a soda addiction. But
Hey, we all got our demons, you know.
yeah.
Sorry. Go on.
Producer Alex, were you
And-
gonna say something? Or
This is the AA meeting for
Okay.
our addictions. Hello, Pete.
oh no.
I'm Nick.
When it's relevant, I will.
Okay. Shout out to producer Alex.
Yo.
It's his first episode.
Hey!
I
He
like
said he's
producer
off screen.
Alex.
Yeah.
You kind of look like Max Payne and Max Payne 3, which is like a compliment. Like, shout out.
All right. Thanks, dude.
It's a good game.
I feel like you kind of look like me if I shaved.
Hey!
I was gonna say you look like if they did a Breaking Bad reboot and Walter White was in his 20s.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Thanks,
a good
dude.
one.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be Walt because Walt was just like a nerdy science teacher. I'd be Mike.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Like
Maybe
Walt didn't have the
Mike,
shaved head. He was very nebbishy. You know what I mean?
Like a Breaking Bad prequel, and you get.
Right.
Does that mean Mike was
We'll
bald?
put it for the YouTube people. We'll put a picture of Alex up on the screen, so
Just
you can
superimpose me in.
see, or something. Anyway,
Back to the story.
yeah. After a week, she showed her true colors. They were shoved into one room and weren't permitted out of there without permission. That was rarely granted. Nick, I'm so sorry. That was rarely granted, so they were room bound. If they were lucky, they got scraps of food, but otherwise they had to sneak some. She beat them if she caught them with food, but otherwise it was to show that she was boss. Otherwise, they were alone in their room and allowed to play if she couldn't hear them.
I mean,
Wow.
Okay, so they're stuck in a room. They can't have food, but they're somehow able to sneak food, which involve leaving the room. But they're also allowed to play in the room if she can't hear them. But she's constantly checking up on them so that she can hear them. My brain hurts.
Can I just say, like, this story went from 0 to 100 like in 2 seconds?
yeah, within the first paragraph.
Of an abusive aunt? Yeah,
They-
that's...
their dad dies. They're now in the custody of an abusive parent who doesn't even let them eat. Who doesn't even let them leave the house.
No wire hangers. Yeah. That whole...
The room they were, quote, given didn't seem friendly to them. It was plain white with no decorations or anything to personalize it. They were forbidden from doing any personalization since it was her room. They were staying temporarily. They didn't deserve a dresser, so they kept re-wearing clothes. The only way they could get clean clothes was to wash them themselves. Again, that would involve leaving the room. It could only be done once a week, and lately, Aunt Tracy would push them into the washer to cause them to fall.
Wait, the washing machine?
I guess. Hang on. Let me read that again. It could only be done once a week, and lately, Aunt Tracy is separated by quotes. So once a
Okay.
week, and lately, Aunt Tracy would push them into the washer to cause them to fall. So she's like shove like a schoolyard bully just into the
Hey.
washer.
There's a lot of information that we're not getting right now. Like, it's very...
I don't know. So far, I
confusing.
don't see any problem with what Aunt Tracy's doing. Like, probably single. Doesn't seem like she has a husband. She's got 4 kids
No.
thrust upon her.
Yeah.
I'd
Well,
beat 'em
not
too.
thrust.
You have to. You have to.
Apparently, it's some kind of power play. I thought, which, like, for what reason? I don't know. A tiny bookshelf, one shelf, held a total of 5 books. It was a miracle their aunt had not taken the books away yet. Brad had begged her, and she relented. They could keep the books, since she wouldn't see them.
What? Wait, what books were they? Like, what do you think the books? What do you think they are?
I'll tell you. One book was a copy of a journal of letters their mother had written them. One was a family album. One was a tool book.
Does it say what tools specifically were referenced?
It just says tool book.
You will carry on the legend.
And 2 were books their parents read to them. Aunt Tracy said they only deserved 1 mattress, so they got a king-size one.
I mean, all right. Okay, why is the mom writing him letters? They live with her. Like,
Yeah.
right? Like,
How psycho is this bitch?
My dearest Randy, I write to you from downstairs in the
Yeah.
kitchen as you are upstairs in your room.
I've tried
Please
to make the
reply
journey.
back soon, your mother.
it's just like Civil War letters.
I could not make the journey, for the winters of the upstairs are too harsh to climb up 12 steps.
Yeah.
Stonewall Jackson.
Oh, we got it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. They forced themselves to forget about their parents. If they thought about them, they'd start crying out for their parents. When Tracy would hear, she took them out one by one and beat them. They shared memories quietly and told their sister stories when Tracy wasn't around. Brad, Randy whispered, his body shaking with fear. He barely had any muscle on his bones, and he was small for his age as it is. They needed to get help quick or they'd die here.
This is such a fucking dark story.
Move over, BoJack Horseman.
Yeah. I
Jesus
know, right?
Christ.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas about to die from dysentery out here,
Yeah.
man. God damn.
Aunt Tracy started opening the door but decided against it. He heard her walk off and leave the door locked. They couldn't get out without her opening it or picking the lock with something. Yeah, Randy? Brad whispered back, his arms around his siblings. What if Mom and Dad aren't really dead? Randy looked at him in tears, his voice hushed so that Aunt Tracy couldn't hear him. Brad gave him an incredulous look. What do you mean? The news said they were dead and that they found their totaled car. Yeah, but they said there were no bodies identified that night. Couldn't that mean there's even a slim chance of them being alive? Brad hadn't thought of that. Well, it's a long shot, but it could happen. Be quiet now. Aunt Tracy's coming back. Must be time for our beatings already.
Already that time? Wow.
Gee,
Bubba,
look at the time.
keep door closed, Anna pointed. Brad shook his head to Hannah. Wait, what about the bookshelf? Randy shook his head in tears. No, she'd take the books away. Brad, you please don't do it. I don't want to lose the books. It's all we have of Mom and Dad. Brad couldn't argue with Randy's logic and kept his brothers and sisters snuggled to him. So they're just sitting there like
God.
this, just in like a football hug,
Like a
or
Christmas tale story of like, we're gonna lose like the last piece of rice we have.
I imagine them wearing potato sacks.
something. That's what. Yeah,
Yeah.
either that or like Oliver Twist caps, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Dickensian street urchin thing.
It's dirty.
Yeah. All three of his siblings had buried themselves somehow into him. Randy and Mark were in his sides, and Hannah was against his chest. This soothed them, which meant Brad was also happy. When they had been alone, he hadn't been as interested as playing with them. Well, maybe with Randy. Anyways, their parents would make him take them to the park. He wanted no other siblings now. He'd be as good of a big brother as his father was. Brad was basically both parents now. He changed Hannah's diapers, but also comforted and played with them. Aunt Tracy wiggled the doorknob and it opened, a bit too fast for Brad's liking. She glared. Are you guys doing nothing?
Well, no, because I
Sorry, I
because
dozed
I
off for a minute.
rewatched.
You dozed off for a minute.
Well, first off, I'm really interested in this song,
Okay.
but also Brad is the oldest one, right?
Yeah.
I rewatched like a couple episodes of Home Improvement to get ready for this, and Brad was a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Like he looked real douchey. He looked fuck
Even
Brad.
for the 90s. Like,
Yeah,
he
he
was
looked mean and like very rapey almost. I don't know.
Rapey?
Yeah, he looked he
Didn't
looked like a jock. He sucked. Fuck Brad. Fuck that whole family.
and now he's like the hero of
Yeah,
the
no,
story.
Brad was a dick. Jonathan Taylor Thomas would have taken the hold in this one, I think.
Was he like condescending dick or was he like out?
He was just a bad kid.
Mm.
He was a bad apple.
seed. Like he would hide in like the air conditioning shafts and like torture rats or something.
He looked like he killed a few cats.
That's like that's like a red flag. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be in the story.
Let's see. She glared darkly at them, her cold, piercing eyes penetrating them. Hannah cried out in terror, and Randy and Mark hid into Brad. Never had someone gotten them all to fear her as fast as Aunt Tracy had. Her smirk scared them to no end. He saw none of his mother in her. Their mother had been sweet, sassy at times, kind, but was very sweet towards them and Tim. She made them feel better when they cried. She punished them when they were naughty, but she nurtured them. She and their dad played with them and made them feel loved. Girl, you go first.
Oh no.
Tracy.
Wait, what voice are you using for this character?
Oh, this is on Tracy, so we need like a shitty person.
Aunt Tracy, I just imagine, is the lady from Misery.
Misery.
Oh, Kathy Bates' character.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
imagine Kathy Bates coming and beating up Tim Allen's kids.
Annie Wilkes. I'm trying. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do Kathy Bates. I need like.
Or did like the English woman accent? Like,
Oh,
oh dear,
Yeah.
you're beating my children.
Wasn't Kathy Bates on The Office? Didn't she play like the new boss on The Office
Was
for
she
a
in The
while?
Office?
for a little bit.
Remember, she was Joe. The
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I think so.
right. That's Kathy Bates, right?
I think that's
Academy Award winning Kathy Bates?
Yeah. I'm googling. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna check.
No.
I always said that the closest thing to being a ghost a human can be is listening to a podcast where they're getting something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just like,
You're like,
God damn it, that's
"No!"
not it. So, pod ghosters out there, sorry about that.
It's confirmed she was on The Office. Yes, that was her.
We were right then. Okay, so how about this? I've been working on this like upper crust rich person voice
Ooh.
with like a clenched jaw. Girl, you go first.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
works. Yeah,
okay.
that
good.
sounds good. Okay,
I
sidebar.
have my house in the Hamptons. You know, like,
Sidebar. I stopped watching The Office. It was my freshman year of college. when Jim and Pam finally like got together.
Isn't that when it got good or something?
No, that's when it got terrible.
Oh.
So
That was like season 3.
yeah,
It went on like 6 more seasons.
I know. I didn't watch any of that shit, and I'll tell you why. Because it was like when he finally asked her to marry him, and like everyone like they would be like, "Hey, we're gonna watch The Office in like the dorm hangout spot," and then I just saw just the whole dorm of women just start like bawling in tears. I was like, "This fucking shit sucks. I fucking hate this shit. I'm done."
By the way, I don't know if you guys know this. There's a podcast where the women who played Pam and Angela on The Office rewatch episodes of The Office and talk about it.
Huh.
Then that's like their new podcast.
I mean, they're already famous, so of course people are going to go. But also, that's not a bad idea, especially if you're like, you were there.
Watch it on
Yeah,
Spotify.
it's called Office Ladies.
Office Ladies.
Shout out Office Ladies,
Shout out to a podcast more popular than us. All right.
Yeah.
Pencil
which is every other
skirts.
podcast.
So, yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
All right, Tracy bent down to take Hannah, but Brad had a tight grip on her. He battled with her, but eventually lost. His grip wasn't strong anymore. Their mother was strong, but she never yanked like Tracy did. She took stuff away and grounded them, but she never hurt them intentionally. Their dad didn't either. He was much stronger than their mom. He never gloated, but he was the strongest in the house. Brad felt terrible that he couldn't protect his sister right away. Randy and Mark needed him right now, and if he tried to stop her, he beat people worse.
Oh
No,
man, that is gonna just really backfire on him when he gets older. Like that whole masculine, like I couldn't protect my kids, I couldn't protect my children. He's gonna just he's gonna be drunk at bar fights, like as a 35-year-old man for show after this. Just screaming his sister's name says he just beats a poor
I'm sorry, Hannah.
college
punch,
kid to
punch
death.
it. No, please stop.
I got him, Hannah. I got him.
Stop kicking him! He's having a seizure. Yeah,
He's still breathing.
Hey, as an epileptic, I find that offensive and completely accurate. So,
Hey, shout out!
yeah,
Shout out to epilepsy real quick.
fuck yeah.
Fun fact.
You can try. They won't be able to hear you because they'll be in their twilight state or whatever. Hannah's tiny voice choking up made Brad cry. He felt so
tiny
bad
voice.
for her, and he was helpless right now. Shut up, you. I wish your lazy mother had never dumped you children on me. She and your stupid father got themselves killed in a car accident. Aunt Tracy kicked her, and Brad's blood boiled toward her.
She kicked a 2-year-old?
I suppose so.
You can't just kick 2-year-olds.
I mean,
They're really small. Like
You can,
And
but
they're quick.
You can, but like you can probably go for a field goal. You know, like,
Yeah,
like
you
you
punt-
drop kick the kid, and
What age is like kicking is fair game?
Ooh, how old are you? How old is the
17?
person doing the kicking?
An adult.
16.
Just say adulthood. 16?
I think
16, you can kick a 16-year-old. You don't kick a 2-year-old. You
Yeah.
punt a 2-year-old.
Yeah,
Like
that's right. Drop
that
kick a
shit
2-year-old.
goes through a field goal.
Like 16,
It's
like they're
good.
just little shitheads.
And also
usually
they're
at
like
that age.
16, so they're kind of strong. So it's like, they'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like I read The Catcher in the Rye, and I think I know stuff now.
Yeah,
It's like, and Mom, fuck you. Like, you start saying that.
You're all phonies, man.
Yeah, but I just would love to hear the noise of someone punting a 2-year-old, just like, and just having it fly off.
You can't punt. Yeah, you can't kick 2-year-olds, man.
What I also don't understand is that she goes, "Your mom dumped you kids on me," but in the prologue it says that she like jumped at the chance to take them.
Just to kick their ass.
Just to that's like,
Now's my time.
yeah, it's our time down
I got
here.
them. Oh, why did?
Oh my god. You could have done that. You could have done what they wanted in the first place. You could have let Wilson take care of us and give us what you don't.
Yes. Yes, that got
That's-
answered.
yeah. Brad wrapped his arms around his younger brothers and knew she'd come grab Mark soon. She wanted to get them out tonight, but they needed to be. He wanted to get them out tonight, but they needed to be quiet about it. They could sneak and call 911 when she wasn't home and get the police to take them to Wilson's house. Okay, so
First off, you're not going to Wilson's house. What's going to happen is you're going to go to Child Protective Services, right? And they're going to put you with a foster home.
yeah, and then it's gonna be Wilson,
And it's going to be way worse. Like, there's going to be 12 kids owned by, like, this weird couple who
By a
only do
weird-
it for government.
Yeah, like a
Like-
weird Christian family.
Yeah, but they only do it for, like, they want the extra money, so they adopt, like, 12 kids. And then
Yeah.
they just, like, give the kids bread, and then they catch, like, the extra government money.
So
It's like, you don't get bread if you don't pray every day.
It's going to be season 5 or 6 or 4 of The Wire. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the what's it called? That episode of South Park where it's like the family of agnostics.
yeah. The super agnostic people.
Is it root beer or is it cola? No one knows for sure.
And no one will ever know.
I don't know.
What voice do you have for Randy?
I never really picked a voice for Randy.
Okay, well, you did Homestar Runner, so Randy's now.
No, Homestar Runner is Hannah.
Okay.
So you could do another Homestar Runner voice for.
Okay. Oh, wait, let me think here. Let me think.
Pete, you got any suggestions for
Brad, I want Mom! Randy started crying. And Dad, they never did this to us! They weren't remotely abusive to them. They never laid a hurting hand on them, not even to spank them for punishments. They ground them, send them to their rooms, or lecture them about what they did. They taught them that raising a hurting hand to somebody is wrong for every reason. They teased each other.
You know, for somebody who got caught in Kalamazoo, Michigan, with 1.65?
I believe it was 1.65 pounds of coke.
1.65 pounds of coke. He definitely seems like he spanks his kids.
Yeah.
And especially because, like, who Tim Allen is as a person, he definitely spanked those kids.
Tim Allen, catch his hands any day. Let me know.
Like, I'm the tool man. It's like, you bet you believe I fixed that shit. This is
also, he's terrible at fixing stuff, by the way.
Yeah.
The whole point of the show is that he's, like, bad at it, and Al is, like, his, like, little stooge who's good at it.
Yeah.
But because Al's just, like, a little, like, wimp about it, like, Tim just... Fuck Tim.
Home Improvement, the distilled end result of toxic masculinity.
Yeah. But, like, not even, like, fuck.
Yeah, Al really was like the beta male of the 90s.
Yeah, he was. Because he didn't have a wife. He got married at the end of the series. But
he
like,
and Danny Tanner.
Tim walked over him all the time, and then I believe at some point during the series you find out that Al isn't getting paid like dick.
Yeah.
In the whole show, he's like, I have a very low salary. He's getting paid like $35K while Tim's out here with hot rods and stupid power tools all day.
More power.
Al, kill your friend, dude.
They'd ground them, send them to their room, and lecture them about what they did. They taught them that raising a hurting hand to somebody is wrong for every reason. They teased each other, but never did they hit each other. They were extremely protective. Shh, Randy, I want Mom too, but she's not in here. If you keep talking about her, Aunt Tracy will make your beatings even worse. Randy kept quiet.
Is that your Homestar Runner voice?
I don't know what I was doing there.
I was like, that was like half that and half Nick Kroll's character Lola from Big Mouth.
I
it was
would
like some weird midpoint between the two.
No.
Whatever, just keep doing it. It's fine.
Randy kept quiet. Mark looked at him. Why did she kill Hannah? She's a baby. She needs stuff more than we do. Brad looked at Mark, but Aunt Tracy banged open the door. She threw Hannah in the room and didn't seem to care if she was okay or not. Simply, they were there just for her to keep on beating them. It made the boys mad, but Hannah was still a baby. She didn't understand most. She just understood that it was sad.
I mean, you can understand being punted.
Yeah.
I don't care what age you are. If someone goes drop kicked, like, you know what that is.
Well, I'm also very confused about why she's abusing the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she just seems to show up to their room and then kick their ass. It's not like she like comes home in like a drunken
stupor.
Like she's just like it's fuck 3 o'clock.
It just seems like outward malice. Like at least with Misery, where when she like breaks his legs and shit, it's because she's his #1 fan.
Yeah,
you know.
No, she's just kicking the shit out of these kids.
There's that. There's like the drunken stupor, but this is literally just I'm gonna fucking drop kick some kids today. You know?
Yeah, she doesn't like hate her job. Like, I don't know.
We're not invested in this villain. You know, like we don't know why. Hannah sprinted across the room and ran into Brad's. Started crying his shoulder. Hannah sprinted across the room and ran into Brad's arms. She fell into his lap and started crying into his shoulder. Rubbing her back, she cuddled her close and let her keep crying while he soothed her. Her diaper needed to be changed quick, but he knew Aunt Tracy had to be out of the room.
So wait, do they have like stuff to change a kid's diaper?
I mean,
in this,
somehow, they have
no
other potato sacks.
Okay,
they just
maybe
have
parts
books.
of Tim Allen's tool book that he's just using.
Yeah. This is what we know is in the room. It's a white room with black curtains. No, it's a white room with 5 books in it. But somehow they've also
and potato sacks
managed to sneak in food, but also don't have food. And they can change a diaper, but they don't have the stuff to change a diaper, but they're able to do it before.
Honestly, though,
My brain hurts.
like, you're really coming at Wolf Patronus pretty hard right now. And, like, that's my homie. So, like, if you could, like, back the fuck off for a few seconds. He's making fan fiction about Tool Time, about Home Improvement in 2018. So back off! He's doing God's work, all right? Like,
How much did that physically hurt you to say?
Wolf Patronus?
All of it.
I-
That whole speech.
It took at least 3 years off of my life.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're next, crybaby.
She grabbed Mark and held him tight on her hip. Mark knew better than to fight it, but he was crying hard. Brad wanted to yank him away from his aunt and get them out, but he couldn't yet. Their parents never held them like that. He and Randy were too old to be held like Mark and Hannah were. Brad remembered when he was held quite often. His parents, I feel this is written like someone who has like extreme ADD. Do you agree?
Yes, agreed.
I think it's kind of, I feel like Wolf Patronus is just writing what happened to him as a child and then just replacing it with the Tim the Toolman Taylor's family. Like at some point, you know, they're going to be like, instead of Brad, it'll just be like,
Yeah.
I held them close.
Oh, he's gonna Freudian slip his way.
Yeah.
Into it. Or just like the thing where it's like, who the fuck is Hannah? It's like Hannah, my dead sister.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, somewhere like the mom's like, you can't keep hurting Wolf Patronus. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Brad wanted to yank him away from his aunt and get them up. Fucking up. He and Randy were too old to be held like Mark and Hannah were. Brad remembered when he was held quite often. His parents held them gently, but sometimes it was a tight hold. Either way, he never felt any pain when it happened. While they weren't carried often, they were given piggyback rides from time to time. Brad and Randy missed their parents, so they tried not to think about it. Bubba, me hungry. Hannah's tears made his tattered Detroit Lions shirt wet, but he didn't care.
I know, honey. We all are. We'll sneak to get food soon.
He kissed her head.
I forgot. I like the Detroit Lions because that was like their team in the show. Because it took place in like a Detroit suburb, and they'd always be like the Lions.
The Lions, the Red Wings, the
Yeah,
Tigers.
they
Yeah.
fucking love the Lions. I remember that.
And the Lions have been terrible forever, haven't they?
Almost as long
yeah.
as Home Improvement has sucked, which has been forever.
When was the last time they were good? Like Barry Sanders?
I don't know. Shout out to Detroit, I guess.
I know Alex is furiously doodling right now.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Alex, you're a Google.
After Home Improvement ended, the Detroit Lions whole team just
That would be really funny if like that was the inciting incident. They're like, you know what, I can't go on not while Tool Time is off.
we
the
changed we changed coaches. And, you know.
That was our hurrah show, man. Like,
Everything went downhill from there.
that was all mojo, baby.
After Tim the Toolman Taylor died,
Yeah.
whole city really fell to pieces.
Randy looked at him in tears.
So the Lions, the last time they won the Super Bowl was in 1957.
Oh.
And everyone's so excited about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Come on, man, give the Lions some help. Or whatever.
Well, the Cubs, they were like a century before they won any Super World Series.
Yeah, but
They
that
might
was,
be the new Cubs.
I mean that was a curse, but that's something else. I think it was 104 years, if I remember correctly. You don't have to Google that.
Okay.
What else happens with this sordid tale of child abuse?
Yeah.
Yes. Randy looked at them in tears.
If we ever do find Mom, I'll never make fun of her cooking again. I'll be grateful to have her and Dad cook for us again.
Brad gave a smile to him. Don't say if, Randy. Don't say if, Randy. Say when. I know Mom and Dad aren't dead, and we will find them. We need to escape. Brad kissed Hannah's head and then Randy's, letting Hannah sleep on his chest. These sentences are really short.
Yeah.
They're short and they're redundant sounding.
Yeah.
They keep talking about how much their parents love them. Like, their parents would never beat them. Like, we get it.
It's not just
Child
that.
abuse.
It's I'm hearing the same words and like back to back, like the kind of thing. Like
Again, you're coming at my man Patronus, Wolf Patronus, real hard.
did you ever like you know how when we're teenagers and we're all kind of shitty to our parents? There's that thing where like you tell like, Dad, can you stop doing that? It's embarrassing or whatever. And then you realize as an adult that probably brought them a lot of joy, and you just crush their spirit just a little bit. I had that realization recently when I was a kid. My mom used to sing a lot around the house. And my sister and I were like, stop it, your voice is terrible, or whatever. And I was in the car the other day, and I
What?
realized how much I loved singing, and I was like, fuck, I ruined this for my mom.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you ever do that with?
I lost all of your respect.
Yeah,
man.
how dare you?
You had some in the first
You
place.
don't tell your mom to stop singing. Come on.
I was 9. What do you want from me?
I remember
To
when
be a nicer person, Atlas.
when I was 16, my dad randomly was just like, "Hey, do you want to go see a movie?" I was like, "What? Why?" It was like his one time we ever tried to bond.
It was like the one that was his.
It was the only time. I was like, "What? Was this a trap? Or what is this?" And then we saw Spider-Man 2. We saw Spider-Man 2 in theaters.
That's a good one.
And then halfway through, we both looked at each other, and my dad just said, "This movie sucks, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, it does suck." And that was the closest I ever was to my dad.
Aw.
Yeah.
I
so-
just like the idea of that Renaissance painting where it's like them God and
Yeah.
man reaching for each other. It would be like him going "You want to see a movie?" and then the other and man is just like, "No, I'm good."
No, I mean, I was down, but I do like the fact that our closest moment was just united in hatred, which I think is like the Skobel way. You know,
Yes.
Yeah.
this fucking sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, fuck these nerds.
Yeah.
That is definitely a thing to just unite in hatred over something.
Fuck Tobey Maguire.
There's a good Peter Parker, bad Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mark was
hot
tossed. Oh, sorry. Mark was tossed into the bedroom as carelessly as Hannah was and hit the wall.
oh damn.
Holy shit! Okay, so he's like 10, right?
Yeah.
So how is this woman who's their aunt is she a bodybuilder?
Again.
Yeah, how she's throwing these
She
children.
is straight up like a football, just into the
She's
wall.
Annie Wilkes, right?
Yeah.
That's how strong she is.
But was Annie Wilkes able to pick up and throw him?
Yeah. Annie Wilkes would have kicked that guy's ass for sure.
But she had a shotgun during
she was
one
tough
scene.
as fuck.
Yeah, but to pick up a 10-year-olds are kind of heavy.
Nah.
No?
I could throw 10-year-olds.
After you lift kids for your whole 10 years, you get strong.
All right, how many?
Plus, she's been working out a lot, just beating the brakes off these children. So
how many?
at
10-year-olds,
this point, she's Joe Rogan. So
How many 10-year-olds
On an
do you
all
think
carnivore
you could take in
diet.
a fight?
huh?
How many 10-year-olds do you think you could
Dude.
take in a fight?
Until it's over for you 10-year-olds.
No. I mean
At once,
At-
I'd say 30
30.
over for him. And the only reason why I would be overtaken was because my hands would be too bloody and broken for
Be-
me just caving in 10-year-olds.
Because
Skulls.
because they have to catch them, and this is before or after you take on Tim Allen.
He's the final
I
boss.
feel like if you just beat the shit out of one 10-year-old in front of the other ones, they'll all immediately back down.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. Well, if you've
Yeah.
ever seen someone get jumped, if the second they take out one of them, people kind of
Yeah.
Okay,
like, okay.
let's assume it's it's like a
gang of 10-year-olds.
Wait, are these warlord 10-year-olds from Africa? Or are these your typical American?
Logan
I'm
Paul
thinking
10-year-olds?
Zombieland zombie 10-year-olds where they're attacking you, they're savage, and there's no fear behind anything.
Ah.
It wouldn't be that. It wouldn't take that many.
Wouldn't take that many to take
One
them down?
bite and you're fucked.
No, okay.
Oh,
aside
they're
from
not.
the
Oh,
zombie
they're not.
part,
They don't have zombie diseases. They
it's
just.
they're
that,
fearless.
That way of attacking. Yeah.
See, what you're going to want to do if you're going to go against a gang of 10-year-olds is, again, like I said, you don't want to use your hands. You're going to want to just throw elbows and knees because
Conserve energy.
conserve energy, way more effective, and you're not going to break your
Break
Knuckles.
your knuckles on them. So
Yeah.
you just want to be throwing elbows and knees.
It's a good way to be.
Okay.
My name is Peter Skobel. That is how to beat up 10-year-olds.
How to beat children.
My name is Peter Skobel, and I approve this message.
And that's why I can never run for Congress now. So thanks. Great.
Mark was tossed into the bedroom as carelessly as Hannah and hit the wall. Ow! With a loud wail. Ah! Mark started crying into Brad. Aunt Tracy yanked on Randy, who was crying and clinging to Brad. Aunt Tracy pried his fingers off and dragged him to the bedroom. Mark and Hannah were crying into Brad. Let me go! Stop! Ow, that hurts! Please stop! I'm sorry!
Okay, so wait. She threw him into the bedroom wall and then dragged him into the bedroom. And then they said crying twice in two, cried into Brad twice in 2 sentences.
Listen, Wolf isn't winning any Newbery prizes, okay?
My brain hurts. Yeah.
This is a lot like the book A Child Called It.
I've never.
Oh, it's just a horrifying tale of child abuse.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
Brad winced as he heard another whip from her belt hit him.
Oh.
You don't say another word unless you're spoken to. Understand?
That's kind of like the Grinch. And blow after blow seemed to keep hitting him as he stopped crying out. He knew the reason that Randy stopped crying out. What was the use of crying when there was no chance that you were going to be saved? He noticed Mark and Hannah were fast asleep, snuggled into him. They needed to get out quick. If they didn't, they would die here and leave their parents childless. Jesus!
God damn.
Home Improvement. Randy...
Bum, bum, bum.
I can still hear his voice. It gives me nightmares. Randy was tossed into the bedroom, and Aunt Tracy grabbed Brad by the hair sharply, her nails digging into his head. He yelped, and it caused Mark and Hannah to wake up and cry out in fear. Randy had the young ones snuggled into him so that they wouldn't see or hear Aunt Tracy. Tracy dragged him down the hall, and he felt her nails digging into his head. Tears blurred his vision. He was fraught with worry. How can he just sit there while he was getting beaten? He knew he couldn't fight it, or his beating would be worse since his aunt hated him.
We know.
We know this.
We're good. Like,
Pete, that was heavy.
okay, I know this is supposed to be heavy, but like it's so badly written, roll credits, that like it's hard to really feel the gravity of the moment, because it just, it's like throwing a saxophone down some stairs and calling it jazz, you know?
I think what makes it so jarring is that it's just about everything that Home Improvement wasn't about. Like,
okay,
if they did not handle child. It wasn't like Seventh Heaven, you know what I mean? It was just like, oh, Tim, he's got another crazy thing. He made a car, like, and he fucked it up, like.
It's like Home Improvement was put there sarcastically.
Yeah, like,
wasn't there an episode where like one of the kids got caught smoking weed?
Yeah.
And it was like this big
yeah,
moral dilemma, like what they were gonna do.
In Home Improvement or in Seventh Heaven? Because
Home Improvement.
Okay, because both had episodes. But I actually watched the marijuana episode, and it's Brad, I believe, the oldest, who gets caught with marijuana, and then they're like, the mom's like, Bradley, how could you do this? And then he says,
and then he's like, what? Dad got caught with cocaine?
Yeah, right. No, but in a surprisingly refreshing turn, Brad's like, you and Mom grew up during the hippie days. Are you trying to tell me you guys didn't smoke weed? And Tim, the tool man Taylor, just goes like, huh, fair. Like, right in front of him. And he's just like, don't try to turn this around me. Like, that was it. And I was like, yeah, you're a bunch of fuck you, Tim Allen.
It would be like if the kids from that 70s show grew up and had kids, and then they were just like, what about The Circle? And they're like, yeah, shit. Which I'm rewatching that 70s show right
Shout
now.
out.
That's why.
Who's the girl? Who's the really tall girl that 70s show?
No, she's a redhead. It's Donna Pincey.
Oh,
She's the
that's right,
worst.
redhead.
She was the worst in the whole series. Her parents were like really kind of like woke and like progressive. And then the whole time she's the one with the most issues. It was like the guy with the curly hair doesn't know who his dad is. He's chill, but she's like, I hate my parents.
Well,
but her parents are like really cool. They're having threesomes and fucking swingers and shit.
Their parents break up, and then like while they're breaking up, they kind of force her to choose sides. It's not a fun place to be. I've been in that place.
Leonardo DiCaprio in Catch Me If You Can did just fine. He became a pilot.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
But Kitty, that 70s show, Kitty was probably the best character on that show.
Yeah, shout out to Kitty. All
Come
right,
on, that was a good Kitty laugh.
let's go back to a
right.
terrible
wasn't a
show
Kitty laugh.
about child abuse or something.
He already hurt from this morning's beating, and he stopped himself from crying. Wow, okay. He wanted his parents, but that was an issue to worry about later. Tracy locked the door and yelled, take off your shirt and pull down your pants.
Oh, no.
Brad looked in tears.
Oh shit.
No, please, Aunt Tracy.
Do it now before I make it worse, and take away your scraps. Brad pulled down his pants, and Aunt Tracy started hitting Brad with her belt on his bare bottom. His bottom starting to sting. Brad kept his mind focused on saving his brothers and sisters, trying to ignore the pain. Tears ran down his cheeks. He wanted his mother to run in and push her away. He wanted her to run in, save them, and to take them home.
Please don't beat us tonight. You wouldn't have to see or hear us if you didn't do our nightly beatings.
Aunt Tracy kicked him in the shins as he cried out, Sorry, I have to punish you so you know how naughty you are.
Please, our parents wouldn't want you to do this. Brad regretted saying that.
Tracy smacked him. Oh, wait, that wasn't Brad. Brad regretted saying that. Tracy smacked him. Well, now there's Well, they're not here now, are they? I hate you the most, but your sister is a close second. You're both annoying. Brad cried out,
I'm sorry, Aunt Tracy.
She shoved him to the floor and gave a swift kick to his chest.
Jesus Christ. Also, why aren't they in school? They still got to go to school, right? Is this during summer vacation? No, because it happened in September.
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the school year,
year.
my guy. Like, why aren't they in school?
I don't know, man.
It's a good question, honestly.
The school will be like, what the hell's going on here?
Or
Again, sorry to go at my man Wolf Patronus, but, that's a plot hole, my dude.
Jeez, all right, this is getting bad. Brad cried out, I'm sorry. She shoved him into the floor and gave him a swift kick to the chest. Mommy can't save you anymore. You're stuck with me. I don't want to hear that name out of your mouth ever again. Do you hear me? Brad, God, I feel bad for these. Jesus Christ, it's got dark.
Also, we get it. They're getting beat. Like, this has just been an hour of children getting beat. Move the plot along.
You know what this story reminds me of? It reminds me of that one movie. I cannot remember the name of it. It was about a cop and how he's like this really sick fuck who beats women like to death, and you see him beating women for like 10 minutes straight.
Paul Blart.
It was. No, it was weird. It was like one of those dudes like Casey Affleck. I think that was him. But I don't know if that was him for sure. But
I believe you're thinking of Casey Anthony.
Casey Anthony. I think you're right.
Kidding.
Casey Anthony.
Oh.
No, I think Casey Affleck was accused in real life of hitting women.
Oh.
Yo, I saw Casey Anthony. I saw Casey Affleck at the YMCA in Koreatown one time. He was just working out.
That's pretty dope.
I told him his brother was a bomb in Phantoms.
Was he using a woman as a
How
punching bag?
shitty would that be if someone goes up to
Relax,
like, dude, the person you compare yourself to, they're so cool.
Yeah.
That would be like if I like did a set and then I got off stage and they go, "Hey man, your sister Phoebe, she's like, I love her. She's super cool."
Shout out to Phoebe Novak. Sorry, continue. We don't...
Okay. Yeah, we're almost done.
This has been an hour of child abuse. Great.
Yeah, we're pushing through this. Jesus. She said to him, Mommy can't save. You're stuck with me. I don't want to hear more. Oh, yeah. Brad nodded as he felt her push him out of the door. He ran as fast as he could to the door to check on his siblings. He sprinted in, and she kicked him in.
So did he make it or not? Did she like kick him over the threshold?
I'm
I hate the
assuming she
wording
kicked
of
the
that.
shit out of him.
I hate the wording of that.
Me too.
Locking the door after he was in.
Let's see how bad she hurt you, Randy. You first.
Brad told. Randy stood up and let Brad check his body. She hit me hard, near my lungs, I think. Randy started to wheeze as Brad lifted up his shirt. His shirt and gently pulled down his pants. He noticed that his bruises were red, black, blue, purple, and yellow. Randy pulled his pants up and shirt down. Brad went to check on Mark. Mark, you seem to be in better condition than Randy's. Brad, Randy's. That's making me angry right there. Brad, I want Mom and Dad. Mark started crying. I know, buddy, and we'll be rid of her soon. Honey, let Bubba take a look at you. Hannah obeyed, and Brad's heart broke at what he saw. Your bruises are worse than ours. That does it. We're leaving tonight. And that's the end of chapter 1.
That was... We really got to end on a cliffhanger?
There's 4 of them. There's 4 chapters. I wish that we could cover this whole story because I've read it all. And it gets so much worse. But we only have the studio for an hour at a time. So it's like...
I'll come back. I don't
What
care. I need to know. Like,
what the fuck, Wolf Patronus?
I mean, we will put the